Well, good morning and welcome to the digital version of News 3 Midday. Now, our top story this midday, well, it is why we are only digital this midday. Let me explain. Well, the station's tower, it was hit by lightning yesterday. It was in the morning, cutting our signal, and of course, that limited our capabilities. Well, because of this, our newscast will remain digital and limited to tower cameras, live weather, and video until we are able to get it restored. Now, we are working on that. Engineers have been working tirelessly to get that restored, and we hope to be able to bring the news to you live today. But with that said, we hope you'll be patient with us as we try to restore things back to normal. Now to your local news. Here's a look at our tower camera, a live look at Carbondale. As you can see, we've got wet roads out there across much of the region today. Now, storms pummeling our area overnight. We should get a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Griffin Hardy. Good morning, Griffin. How's your midday going today?
Hey, good morning, Rachel. It's been a really busy morning in the weather department thus far with all the rain that we've seen for the past 24 hours. We've got flood watches and flood warnings that are still in effect for much of southern Illinois. Most of our northern counties and our central counties is where most of the action has been. But the rain itself is beginning to slow down a little bit. It's been steady, heavy rain for most of the morning, which is why the flooding has been pretty significant for parts of our area. Had some reports of flash flooding in Union County in particular. Most of Perry and Cape Girardeau counties have seen around 4 to 5 inches of rain. It's more like 5 to 6 inches of rain along I-57 in Union County. That's been the big trouble spot for us as far as the heavy rain goes. Again, the rain is beginning to slow down, but we can't rule out more occasional showers or thunderstorms for the rest of the afternoon and evening. Chances of rain pretty high still at around 6 p.m. tonight. We dry out briefly for tomorrow with warm temperatures on the way, highs upper 70s tomorrow, but then a second round of thunderstorms moves in tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. We'll talk more about the severe weather threat with that coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, our station certainly was not the only business that was impacted by yesterday's storm. Now, flash flooding, that did hit several neighborhoods, and street crews, they were out there working hard to try to take care of the roads and keep those safe, and even a couple of residents pitched in. News 3's Waylon Walls-Parker brings us that story.
While most people went about their day when the rain passed, Jeremiah Teal grabbed a broomstick.
Pushing the water off to the side, but it kind of feels like we're doing quick fixes. Like the real person who's helping out a lot is the Marion City. They're doing a great job.
He says this street has flooded before, and with fast-moving storms like this one, water can quickly build up.
The same thing happened last year. I just literally took a broom and kind of put it into the drain and it cleared out. This year's a little harder to do that.
Marion street crews were already nearby, clearing storm drains and checking roads across the area.
Flooded out spots, but we've got it under control.
Cody McRoy says after storms moved through, crews checked problem areas to see how roads and drainage systems held up.
We've seen how the banks eroded a little bit, and we need to put some riprap in and just checking out all the ditches.
Behind the scenes, emergency management officials are also watching the weather as storms move through the area.
And we also monitor a Slack channel with the National Weather Service that has real-time data, plus we're watching the radar.
Officials remind drivers that if they see standing water, to turn around and not to risk it.
The EMA says when storms like this move through, their role is often connecting residents with the crews who can fix the problem.
It takes an event like this for property owners to notice and to make the phone calls to activate those, and they come out.
And crews say help from neighbors like Teal make a difference.
And it was just a few minutes ago that there was water on this roadway, and now it's clear. And crews say they will continue monitoring spots like this because when storms move fast, conditions can change quickly. In Marion, Waylon Walls-Parker, News 3.
In fact, probably saw some of that flash flooding this morning as those storms went through. And speaking of which, while you saw Marion areas in Heron, places like that, there was some flash flooding yesterday, but there is no doubt that our area definitely needed this rain. Now, the drought monitor showed that much of our region was falling into the category of drought. Well, a new monitor was released this morning, but we're not going to know the impact of the rainfall from overnight and that storm that went through yesterday until the next drought monitor. That's because the map released this morning, it only runs through March 3rd. Now, with that said, in today's map, our area is in a moderate drought with parts of our region falling into the severe category. Last week, the U.S. Drought Monitor showed that over 80% of the land of Lincoln was under some level of drought, while another 15% was considered abnormally dry. Well, of course, competition, that is important to capitalism. And the state of Illinois, it allows for its residents to be able to get utilities energy from multiple companies. And that includes buying electric or gas from companies other than your local provider. Well, there is a new bill coming into place that's going to address that. The problem with that is that these other options, they're often far too expensive. But a new law is looking to keep those prices in check. It's House Bill 4313 that would block these suppliers from charging more than 25% more than what the utility company is offering, and it would stop any contracts that would renew with a higher price without explicit permission from the customer. Our team will continue to monitor this proposed legislation, and we'll be sure to keep you updated both on air and online. Well, President Trump has made an agreement with several tech executives, and that will have them to be self-reliant whenever it comes to electricity. I'll explain. AI data centers, those have been cropping up all over the nation, bringing rising costs with it. Well, now companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, XAI, OpenAI, the whole slew of them, including Amazon, they will supply their own electricity, giving Americans more reliable and secure energy while halting those rising prices.
This means that the tech companies and the data centers will be able to get the electricity they need, all without driving up electricity costs for consumers. This is a historic win for countless American families and will also make our electricity grid stronger and more resilient than ever before.
Some tech companies already have plans in motion to build their own energy-making facilities to power those data centers. Well, there is a lot of construction that's happening on the John A. Logan campus, and officials there want to make sure that everyone is safe and up to date with that construction. Now, with that said, here you go. It's a website. JALC officials, they launched a campus improvements and construction update page. Now, the new page provides updated campus maps, office relocations, and those ongoing construction upgrades. College officials say that this helps with transparency as well as keeping people informed and safe. You can find this through the John A. Logan website. And speaking of John A., they want the community to weigh in on their master plan. So students, employees, alumni, the community, everyone is invited to help shape the future of the campus. They're asking you to weigh in. Now, the plan outlines a shared vision for continued growth. The goal is to inspire learning, create opportunity, and to strengthen connections. While community members, you can share your feedback through John A. Logan's website. Members of the planning team will also offer help in completing the survey in person. That's happening Tuesday, March 17th from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Now, due to ongoing construction on campus, visitors should enter through the east entrance. And don't forget, they've got a website for all those construction updates. Well, we turn now to Capitol Hill, and that is where congressional lawmakers taking a closer look at the ongoing conflict with Iran. Now, this is after the motion to stop further action within the Middle East without the approval of Congress. Well, that failed. Well, ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more information for us.
This morning, the Pentagon marking the first 100 hours of the war in Iran by releasing this video showing strikes on multiple Iranian targets.
We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy.
The Trump administration saying this is just the beginning of the war, and now a victory for the White House.
The motion to discharge is not approved.
Republicans in Congress defeating an effort by Democrats to rein in President Trump's war powers. The measure would have prevented further military action without congressional approval. But Senate Republicans pointing out past presidents from Bush to Obama also conducted military operations without congressional approval. It comes as the president faces growing scrutiny over his rationale for ordering the attack on Iran. Top officials saying Trump acted on intelligence and insisting that Iran posed an imminent threat. Critics want proof. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt yesterday saying this.
The president had a feeling, again, based on fact, that Iran was going to strike the United States, was going to strike our assets in the region.
Democrats pouncing. Senator Chris Coons saying, quote, the president and his administration keep shifting their rationale for the war. The only thing that has remained consistent is the lack of strategy for how to wage it. That's what happens when you launch a war based on gut feelings. While the war of words plays out, an actual fight broke out during this Senate hearing.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
An anti-war protester identified as 44-year-old Brian McGinnis clashing with police. Montana Senator Tim Sheehy then helping officers remove McGinnis, whose arm appeared to snap. He now faces multiple charges, including assaulting an officer. McGinnis is a U.S. Senate candidate from North Carolina under the Green Party. His website says he's also a Marine veteran. Now, those 3 Capitol Police officers were treated for injuries. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is issuing a message of support to our troops as we learn more about the service members who have lost their lives during the conflict with Iran. Now, yesterday, the Pentagon publicly identified those 2 individuals, and I want to make sure I get this right. It is 45-year-old Major Jeffrey O'Brien of Iowa and 54-year-old Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzin of California. And that is bringing the number of U.S. service members killed to 6. Now, in a statement on social media, Governor Pritzker writes, quote, my condolences for our fallen troops, those wounded and their families. We are eternally grateful for their service to the nation, end quote. Well, now to Callaway County, and that is where a deadly fire near Hazel claimed the life of an elderly man on Tuesday. The Callaway County Fire Rescue says that their crews responded to a fire on State Line Road East just after 11:30. Firefighters found the home fully engulfed, and they discovered that there was someone inside. Well, crews went back in, rescuing an elderly man from inside a bedroom. Fire officials say that he later died from his injuries. That fire is under investigation. Now, new this midday, we're learning more about a shooting and a fire at the same time within the city of Benton. Here's those details. We learned this midday. News 3, we spoke with both the Benton Fire Chief and the Benton Police Chief about this incident, and here's what we know. That incident starting with a call of a fire in the 400 block of 10th Street around 11:30 last night. Firefighters staged away from that home as police tried to make entry into the property. Officials tell us that there were gunshots heard as first responders approached that home. Well, firefighters forced to fight that fire from the outside, finally gaining control, but continuing to hear ammunition go off. Well, police secured the residence and firefighters were finally able to gain entry. One person was recovered inside of that residence, the death unrelated to the fire. Well, several firearms were also recovered from that residence. Both Illinois State Police and the State Fire Marshal both conducting an investigation into this incident. You can stay with News 3. We will continue to pass along more information about that particular story as we learn more. Also new this midday, the Carbondale business is now offering up a $10,000 reward for some information that would lead to the arrest of a burglar. Now, Carbondale police say that they responded to a business on Tuesday that was along the 600 block of East Walnut Street. You're taking a look at some photos that were pulled from surveillance footage that identifies the person of interest here. Now, investigators learned that parts had been stolen from an air conditioning unit on that building's roof. Officials say that they believe that theft happened on Saturday morning, and they're asking anyone with information about this burglary to contact Carbondale police. Now, McCracken County deputies, they arrested these 2 suspects yesterday after investigators say they uncovered a multi-state retail theft operation across the Midwest. Detectives say that the pair, both from Poland, are accused of stealing from home improvement stores in 8 different states and then shipping those goods up to Chicago. Well, deputies stopping the pair's vehicle along Interstate 24 near the Ohio River Bridge. Investigators say that they also received more than $3,000 in stolen merchandise. Well, a bill introduced in the Missouri State Senate That would expand the collection of DNA evidence within the Show Me State. Well, under the current regulations, DNA evidence stored in a database only when someone has been convicted of a felony or has been arrested for a specific type of crime. Well, Senate Bill 1458, that would change those regulations, requiring DNA evidence be added to a database if an individual is arrested for any type of felony crime. Supporters of that bill say that the change could help identify suspects quicker and potentially give some traction to cases that may go unsolved. Those against the legislation believe that it's unconstitutional to collect DNA before someone's been deemed guilty, and it opens up avenues of potential misuse of genetic information. And of course, for the latest developments on all of that potential legislation in our region, you can head over to our website. That's at WSILTV.com. You see it there. And for news on the go, you can download our News 3 mobile app. There you can get our latest local headlines. You'll receive breaking news alerts, and you can watch us anytime, anywhere, just like the digital broadcast that you're watching right now. Now, the best part is that's free for both your Apple and your Android devices. Well, hearings continued yesterday on Capitol Hill for Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. These hearings, the first since the shooting deaths of 2 protesters in the state of Minnesota by ICE officials. Well, ABC's Andrea Fujii gives us a closer look.
Things got fiery and personal during a second day of hearings on Capitol Hill for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
You spent $172 million to buy not 1, but 2 luxury jets for your travel, and now you're using taxpayer funds to lease a 3rd jet.
Noem defended the jets, saying they were approved by Congress. Some Democrats also pressed her about Corey Lewandowski, who serves as a special advisor.
Have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today. You go off and you attack conservative women, and you say that we're either stupid
I haven't
or
said
we're
anything.
sluts.
All right, so listen.
And that's what you do.
The topic turning to immigration enforcement and the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good in Minnesota.
Now, I want to give you a chance before the entire country to correct your false and defamatory claim. Based on what you know today, Madam Secretary, were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
The secretary not directly answering the question.
My condolences to their families, because I know that their lives will never be the same.
Some Republicans criticizing the hearing and supporting Noem.
I apologize for the way you've been treated.
Much of the Homeland Security Department remains shut down. Democrats are holding back funding, demanding reforms to immigration enforcement. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Turning now to our local weather, we're pulling up one of our tower cameras and taking a live look at conditions in Benton right now. Here is a look at the Benton Square. It's kind of quiet for the midday. As we take a look around, you can see it's pretty soaked out there. And we had quite a noisy overnight, and many of us waking up to rain, lightning, and thunder this morning. Temperatures, though, they are comfortable, kind of on the warm side, almost muggy out there. Let's see how long these storms are going to linger around. Let's get a first look at our forecast. Here's meteorologist Griffin Hardy.
All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you made it through this morning's mess okay. It is beginning to slow down for us, at least a little bit. We still have a chance for some more showers and storms later on this afternoon, but things are beginning to quiet down, as evident on the Carbondale camera. Just cloudy skies for the moment right now. Flood watch continues for much of southern Illinois. We've seen some flood warnings issued as well. These are not flash flood warnings, though. These are aerial flood warnings, indicating that the flooding is more gradual, but nevertheless still a concern as we head through the afternoon as more occasional downpours track across the area. But as you can see, the rain coverage compared to this morning, not nearly as widespread as it was. It's just more occasional showers more than anything else. But man, we picked up quite a lot of rain. We have some trouble spots across southern Illinois in particular, stretching over to the west into southeastern Missouri. Perry County, Cape Girardeau County, we've seen close to 4 inches of rain here. Union County, man, you guys have had a tough go of it so far this morning. We had numerous reports of flooding that have come in particular particular in Mill Creek, water that was all over the roads there. The creek was over its banks and reported it was washing out over onto the road. So please drive carefully this morning. There are still more than likely some spots of standing water on the roads as the storm system tracks through the area. There's the upper level low that's brought all this mess. We've got another upper level low over the Pacific Northwest that is going to be bringing another chance for some showers and storms tomorrow night into Saturday morning. That's going to bring a lot of severe weather tomorrow towards our west, and we are included in that severe weather outlook. But the main thing for us is that these storms that'll be rolling in tomorrow night into Saturday probably won't be as intense by the time they actually make it into the central Mississippi Valley. They'll continue into Saturday morning, hence why we're included in the day 3 outlook for severe weather. 1 out of 5 risk for tomorrow night into Saturday morning overall, but no threat for tornadoes. Torcon at a 0 out of 10 for us. Main thing we're concerned about is just strong straight line winds and maybe some hail. So let's map it out. Rest of the short-term forecast looks like this. More occasional pockets of light to moderate rain, but the rain coverage not as widespread or as intense as it was early this morning. And that'll be the case for the rest of the night tonight. Occasional downpours here and there, even as late as 11 o'clock tonight. And then after midnight, the activity dies down. We wake up to sunshine early tomorrow morning in lower 60s to start off the day. South winds bring the temperatures way up to the upper 70s for tomorrow afternoon. Even some spots could briefly touch 80 degrees, could be near record highs for tomorrow. That'll be just before the showers and storms make a comeback early Saturday morning. There they are for Saturday at around 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be coming in from the west. I think Saturday morning is when we'll see again that second round of storms roll in. Then we'll be drying out for the afternoon and most likely staying dry for Sunday. So once we get past Saturday morning, I think we'll be okay for the rest of the weekend forecast. Aches and pain index low to moderate for all of the next 7 days. Here's a look at your full 7-day forecast. Weekend looks okay for the most part on Sunday, just a little cooler with highs in the 60s, mid 70s Monday, then rain returns on Tuesday.
Well, okay, there's a lot of rain on that forecast, but the 66 on Saturday, that's probably a good thing because it's time to put on your costume and plunge into some icy waters, but all for a good cause. Now, we're talking about the Friends of Shawnee National Forest. They are hosting the 5th annual Shawnee Plunge, and there you see it on your screen. Now, that event, it benefits the Friends of Shawnee and Equality Fire Department. Participants get to meet at the parking area, and then you can hike or drive up to the Pounds Hollow Arch. There will be plenty of activities happening throughout the day. There's a forest therapy walk happening at noon. There'll be music, food, and a costume contest with the plunge itself happening at 2 in the afternoon. Organizers say that they expect a lot of people, just like you see, get out there and brave the cold.
I think we have 100 or so will come out and on a cold day and jump in the freezing water, and they all seem to enjoy it.
That was Rod Severs with Friends of Shawnee. Well, if you pre-register, those tickets are $40. If you purchase the day of, then they are $50, and that is cash only. You can sign up at their site. That is ShawneeFriends.com. Well, one fast food CEO, there we go, they are under fire this midday, and it's after a video showing off their latest menu offering provided to be more than what he could chew. Well, ABC's Danny New has those details for us.
All right, the moment of truth.
One small bite for man.
That's a big bite for a big arch.
One giant controversy for the internet. In the past few weeks, social media has been having a whole Big Mac's worth of fun with this video of McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski as he tries to demonstrate his love of the fast food chain's new Big Arch burger. As you can see, he does not exactly take the biggest bite. One commenter even shared a screen grab from this SpongeBob scene where Squidward cautiously tries a Krabby Patty for the first time. Meanwhile, another commenter wrote, somebody said he was eating that burger like he was a contestant on Fear Factor.
I love this product. It is so good.
Kempczinski also refers to the burger as a quote-unquote product multiple times, which commenters also poked fun at for sounding so businesslike. In fact, McDonald's is now also having fun with this attention, sharing a photo to X and saying, take a bite of our new product. But did we think the other burger companies would really sit this out? On Monday, Burger King CEO Tom Curtis rolled up his sleeves and got in the kitchen, albeit protected by an apron.
I thought I'd come down to our kitchen here at Wendy's.
And then on Wednesday, oh, what do you know? Wendy's U.S. President Pete Serkin suddenly had a hankering for a Baconator.
Absolutely wonderful.
And he took not one, not two, not three, but 4 bites before washing it down with their signature Frosty. One commenter writing, "My goodness, move aside cola wars of the 80s and 70s. The burger wars of the 2020s are here." So the Big Arch released this week and features 2 quarter-pound beef patties, 3 slices of melted white cheddar cheese, and a new condiment called Big Arch sauce. But what does it taste like? Too big of a bite. Sorry. In New York for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, that was pretty good. And it is midday, so I have to admit, some of those burgers look pretty tasty. Well, before we go this midday, let's go ahead and get a final look at our weather with meteorologist Griffin Hardy.
All right, everybody, final check on your forecast before we go. It's going to stay cloudy and rainy for most of the afternoon. A couple of occasional showers and thunderstorms possible for the rest of the day today, but the rain coverage not as widespread as it was this morning. So even though there is most likely some standing water still left over on the roads from this morning, we shouldn't see any more on top of that for the rest of the day today. Tomorrow night into Saturday morning, got a threat for some more thunderstorms to roll in along a cold front. I think most of us will see the thunderstorms roll in Saturday morning. There's a small chance we could see some severe weather with that, but no threat for tornadoes. Torcon at a 0 out of 10 for us tomorrow into Saturday mornings. Just straight line winds and hail that'll be possible, but still want to have your guard up for thunderstorms early Saturday morning. We'll get a lull in the activity tomorrow with just mostly cloudy skies and highs in the upper 70s. Very warm before that second round of storms comes in. Saturday afternoon and into Sunday, we're drying out, and Sunday actually looks pretty nice. Highs in the mid 60s with sunshine. Warming up back to the mid and upper 70s Monday into Tuesday, and Tuesday's when our next chance of rain should be rolling in.
Wow, look at that forecast. Lots of warm temperatures, but definitely very active spring, right? Well, thank you for joining us for News 3 Midday, our digital version, and we appreciate you bearing with us through our technical limitations. We hope to be back at 4, but if not, we will be here on digital at 4. Otherwise, we'll see you then, and have a great day.